What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the official first video of the TB Toycast YouTube channel. As I'm hitting the camera there, not a great start. But this is something I wanted to do for a while. I've wanted to do some YouTube unboxing videos. They're a lot of fun to watch. I love watching guys like Kyle Peterson. I've seen Fake Heel and countless others do unboxing videos. And I thought it'd be fun to throw my name in the hat, do some unboxing videos here. Take some of the figures that I do buy. You guys probably have seen my pictures of these over on my Instagram at TB Toycast. I show off my collection. I also show off figures that I like. Things of that nature. And of course, the Big Rubber Guys has kind of swept the nation over the last several months. And it was actually a line I didn't collect right away. As you can tell, this is an Andre the Giant figure. Probably a year old at this point, but I didn't jump on right away because I thought, I'm not really into LJNs anymore. I don't need these. The famous last words, as any action figure collector might tell you. Famous last words. I don't need this. I don't need to collect this. And then what do? You end up paying higher prices later. Story of my life sometimes. But I want to dive into this and kind of give you guys my review of this Andre the Giant figure, of the Big Rubber Guys line in general. Of course, this comes from the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. And these figures are so much fun. Absolutely fun line. A love letter to the LJN line. And, LJNs, of course, were the first action figures that I grew up with. I'm sure a lot of you were the same. You grew up with this line. And so to kind of have this line reinvented was really cool. I cannot stop hitting my camera. Sorry about that. I'm going to get better at this, ladies and gentlemen. I will get better. It's just going to take some time. I'm trying to figure out my setup here. I bought a whole bunch of equipment. None of it really worked like I was wanting to. So, it is what it is. This is, of course, is a test run video. We're going to see how this looks, how this does, and kind of go from there. But the LJNs were fun, and they've been recreated in the past, right? We saw in the mid-90s WCW's original San Francisco Toy Makers figures. LJN-esque. They weren't exact, but they tried. They weren't really for me. I had a couple of them. They just didn't really hit. I don't know. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. And then Jack Specific in the late 2000s, probably closer to 2008 or 9, started doing an LJN Chaser in their Classic Superstars line. Sounds like a great idea. We got like Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, the Hardys, and several others. Stone Cold and Rey Mysterio, several others as well. Again, they didn't really hit for me. It was a cool idea. It's a fun, that's cool, but it just didn't really hit. Here most recently, Jazzwares with the AEW line was doing an LJN figure in their unmatched way. We saw Darby Allin, we saw CM Punk, we saw Cody Rhodes. Again, they just didn't hit, right? And I'm sure, I know some people were just going to collect those figures, but one every other wave of kind of a secondary wave to begin with, it's going to be hard to build a collection. And it seems like they've stopped doing that. They only did those 3 releases. And they may start back up at some point, especially with the popularity of the Big Rubber Guys. But it didn't really hit. So when these were first announced, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, could they get the rights to so many of these legends? I guess we're not thinking of guys like Demolition. We're not thinking of guys like the Road Warriors. Andre, who can, I guess, his estate can sign with any company. Same with the Macho Man Randy Savage and so many others. The line has improved and grown so much that it became a can't-miss line. So I'm pretty well caught up at this point, just waiting on several pre-orders to come in. And I'll be unboxing the Powers of Pain on here as well very soon. I mean, the figures are getting better. I love the packaging. And they've actually since changed right here. So they actually have a little piece right here so you can actually display these standing up. I've got to kind of lean against the wall here so that I can get a better shot of it. Because if you lean it forward, well, it might stay, maybe. Andre's a big boy. He's not going to do it, so I kind of have it leaned up. Of course, you can, you have the JPEG, so you can hang it on the wall if you so desire. However you choose to do it. But this is a cool figure. I am going to unbox it and kind of give you guys a rundown of the Big Rubber Guys, Andre the Giant. Before we do that, though, let's take a look at the back. I've always loved this with action figures. I'm going to set this down here. The back of the packaging. I've heard it called the cross-sell from guys like Kyle Peterson. To me, this was always my favorite part of action figures. What's coming, what's out. And you see this, 9 figures there. You're like, oh, man. And Demolition, Andre, Marty Jannetty, Sergeant Slaughter, Ric Flair, Macho Man, Myers and Cardona. And, of course, now if you look at the more current figures, the line's even bigger. So I'm really excited for the Big Rubber Guys line. I plan to collect as many of these as possible. There's a lot of variants out there, so I don't know if I'll do every variant, but I do have what I'm referring to as Ultimate Andre coming, where he's got the Andre the Giant, the Ultimate Warrior face paint, which I was like, no, that's a home run if you ask me. Now we need Road Warrior Dusty. Would be freaking amazing. MajorPodMerch.com, MajorBindies.com, I think even Major.com, I could be wrong on that, will get you to the website. Unfortunately, this is not for sale anymore. Pre-order only for these. I had to go on Facebook to pick this up. Someone was selling it, so I was able to get a decent deal. Pre-orders, what do you guys think about that? A lot of controversy with pre-orders lately because some people are tired of waiting. They're tired of, holding their money out for so long with so many different companies. I was just telling a good friend of the show, Steve Hoker, that I have 28 retro figures on pre-order. That doesn't include Big Rubber Guys, and that doesn't include the Remco figures from Powertown. 28 retro figures. That's a lot, right? That's a lot for anybody. So, we vote with our wallet, as people often say. Kyle says that, I know. I was just talking to Travis the other day about the pre-orders, and I get it. I get the concept of it, but it is a lot of money. It's a lot of money to invest. So we'll see if it continues. I think it probably will, as long as people want to do it. But I think in-stock drops also are a little easier to justify. Like, well, I'll get this figure in a week as opposed to maybe a year, right? Our lives change in a year sometimes. Maybe you need that money for essentials at that time. Things change. So I don't mind the pre-order model. I know some people get frustrated, and I do as well at times, especially with long wait times or lack of updates, things that we've seen in the past. So, but we'll see what happens. But this Andre figure is awesome. I'm going to open it up here. Of course, with these, you get the resealable package, which I always think is cool. So if one were to open it, you can obviously put it back in the box that it came in. Kind of Funko Pop-esque. I remember Funko did that back in the day, which I always thought was really cool. Set Andre up right there. He is a massive figure, as you can tell. He's big. And I think the paint looks really good on this. Feels like an LJN, obviously. Got that big Andre mug on there. And Andre, it's weird. We've seen this with with Super 7 and other figures. Sometimes his look is a little hard to capture, right? Andre's he's got a very basic look, but sometimes it's hard for these companies to capture that. But I really like this Andre, and I'm glad to finally have it in the collection. They also did a blue singlet variant with this. I think for some people it's like, do I need both? That was kind of my thought. I think Andre with the face paint, the Ultimate Warrior face paint's great as a variant, right? Like having a secondary version is really cool because it's almost like a whole different thing. Just a blue singlet as opposed to a black singlet. I don't know if there's enough there for me to want to buy both. But again, people will choose how they choose. But I'm glad to finally have Andre in the collection. Funny story, I actually, when I first got into collecting this line, I pre-ordered Andre. No, I'm not pre-ordered. Well, I guess it was a pre-order. Andre, suited Ric Flair in the Macho Man in the orange from a website called dcbservice.com, which is like a comic book distribution website. And I ordered them back in March of 2024. And nothing, no updates. I didn't pay for it, so it was not a big deal. I put it on a credit card and nothing, no updates. Finally, I went back to their website, noticed everything was still processing, and I was like, what's the update on this? Do we know? And they had no update, so they offered to cancel it for me. So I was like, well, I can now get the pink trunks Macho, so I'm okay with that. It's a different version, but that's cool. And suited Flair is not I can't miss for me. I would rather have Flair in the gear, so that's probably the one I'm going to get. Is probably the one in the blue with the big gold belt, which is kind of a fun thing. I think that'll be coming exclusive to the Major Pod website. And Andre, luckily I was able to snag from somebody on Facebook. So all in all, it worked out. So glad to finally have Andre in the collection. And let me know what you guys think of the Big Rubber Guys. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. We're going to try to help it grow as best we can. And of course, check out my podcast, TB Toycast, every Thursday. If you've not listened, what we do is we talk kind of like current news, events, things that interest us, what's happening in toys, controversy in toys, crazy story in toys, what's new, what's fun, what's coming up. But we also have a main event every week where we dive into a retro toy line. Like most recently, we dove into Jada Toys Universal Monsters. It was kind of a short run, only 6 figures. But Jada Toys is doing awesome with Street Fighter. And I think they're going to be a pretty big hitter with action figures coming up in 2025 and beyond. I know there was rumor that they might be getting the Mortal Kombat license, which I think would be a game changer. I would love to see Mortal Kombat in that scale, a little cartoony look, which I think would be awesome, and having Mortal Kombat with Street Fighter, you know, chef's kiss on that one. That's a home run, so I would love to see it. But I think Jada Toys will be doing really well moving forward. I would love to see more movie monsters beyond Universal. I'd love to see them get like Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, guys like that. I think that would be really fun. Because, you know, NECA does a good job, but I would love to see them kind of more like a toy, you know, kind of get that action figure feel as opposed to a high-end collectible. So, but yeah, check that episode out. It's a really fun listen. And let me know what you think of this, things you'd like to see on this YouTube channel, things you'd like to hear on the podcast. You know, we're always trying to make everything better. I want to use both of these formats to kind of get to do my content and kind of get to, you know, brush that creativeness that I need. Like, I think we all need that, and I think doing this type of stuff is a lot of fun. So thank you guys for checking out this first ever unboxing here on the TB Toycast YouTube channel. Andre the Giant Big Rubber Guy. I love it. I dig it. Can't wait for more Big Rubber Guys. I got many of them on pre-order, and can't wait to complete that collection. Thank you guys for checking out the TB Toycast YouTube channel, and we will see you in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then